The screens in Earth's deep space monitoring station flickered with unusual activity. Tom Wilson, the night shift operator, leaned forward in his chair, his coffee forgotten as he studied the readings. The movement patterns at the edge of the solar system didn't match anything he had seen before. "Sir, you need to see this," Tom called out to his supervisor, Michael Reed. "Multiple objects, moving in formation, too organized to be natural." Michael hurried over, his eyes widening as he looked at the data. Without a word, he reached for the secure phone line that connected directly to the United Defense Force headquarters. This was exactly the kind of situation they had been preparing for over the last 3 decades. Within minutes, Admiral James Thompson was awakened by the urgent call. He didn't complain. This was why he slept in his office at the UDF Command Center. The aging admiral quickly made his way to the control room, where dozens of operators managed Earth's secret defense network. "Report," he commanded, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. A young technician named Jack brought up a holographic display of the solar system. "Sir, we've detected a group of ships near Pluto's orbit. Based on their engine signatures, they matched the Centaurian designs we've been monitoring." Admiral Thompson nodded. Humanity had kept its most important secret for 30 years. They weren't as primitive as the alien civilizations thought. Earth's quantum interceptors have been quietly monitoring alien communications since their first discovery, gathering intelligence while appearing to be nothing more than a pre-spaceflight civilization. "Bring up the transmission intercepts," Thompson ordered. The room's main screen filled with translated alien communications. The messages made Thompson's jaw tighten. Earth sector remains unchanged, still showing only primitive rocket technology and basic satellite networks. Confirmed. Their development rate is remarkably slow. No signs of FTL research or quantum advancement. The planet's resources would make an excellent colonial outpost. Minimal resistance expected. Thompson allowed himself a small smile. The aliens had no idea that Earth had moved most of its advanced technology off-world years ago. The primitive rockets and satellites they saw were just a carefully maintained facade. "Play the deep space intercepts," he commanded. More transmissions appeared, these from further out in the galaxy. Different alien species discussing Earth's potential value, all of them dismissing humanity as an insignificant race barely worth noting. None of them suspected that their every word was being monitored and analyzed by the very beings they underestimated. The Admiral walked to the station where Mary Parker, their chief analyst, was reviewing the data. "What's your assessment?" Mary looked up from her screens. "They're getting bolder, sir. 3 different civilizations have discussed Earth as a potential colony in the past week alone. This group we detected, they're likely a preliminary scout force." Thompson straightened his uniform and looked around the room at his team. These men and women had dedicated their lives to protecting Earth in complete secrecy. They represented just a small fraction of humanity's hidden strength. "Send word to the Mars base," he ordered. "Tell Colonel Wright to begin warming up the defense grid. Don't power it fully, just enough to be ready if needed." He paused, then added, "And contact Dr. Mills at the Jupiter Research Station. Tell him it's time to test the new interceptor systems." The room burst into efficient activity. Hidden platforms throughout the solar system began quietly powering up, their energy signatures masked by advanced cloaking technology. Automated factories deep within Mars increased production of defense systems. None of this would be visible to the approaching alien scouts. In his mind, Thompson recalled the day 30 years ago, when humanity had intercepted its first alien transmission. That day had changed everything, leading to the greatest secret cooperation in human history. While the public went about their lives, humanity's best minds had worked tirelessly to prepare for this moment. Now, as he watched the alien ships approach, Thompson felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Let them come thinking Earth was helpless. Let them approach believing humanity was primitive and weak. Earth was ready. And soon, the galaxy would learn that underestimating humanity had been their greatest mistake. 30 years earlier, on a cold winter morning, Dr. Robert Mills stood in front of the most powerful people on Earth. The emergency meeting had been called after his team detected the first alien transmission. Leaders from every major nation sat around the massive table, their faces illuminated by the soft blue glow of holographic displays. "Ladies and gentlemen," Dr. Mills began, his voice steady despite his racing heart. "What you're seeing is real. We picked up this transmission 3 days ago at our radio telescope facility in Arizona." The room filled with murmurs as the alien message played again. Strange symbols flowed across the screens, accompanied by their rough translation. It was a simple trade discussion between two alien ships, but it changed everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the universe. "We have two choices," Mills continued. "We can announce this to the world, or we can watch and learn." He paused, letting his words sink in. "I recommend the second option." The President of the United States leaned forward. "You want us to keep this secret from the entire world?" Mills nodded. "Think about how humans treat less developed civilizations they discover. Now imagine what advanced aliens might do to us." He pressed a button, showing images of alien ships his team had captured. "They're out there, trading, fighting, colonizing. We need time to prepare." That meeting lasted 18 hours. By the end, every leader agreed. For the first time in human history, all nations would work together in complete secrecy. They called it the Silent Watcher Protocol. Over the next 5 years, Dr. Mills led the development of better monitoring systems. His team created the first quantum interceptors, devices that could detect and decode alien communications from vast distances. They hid these machines in normal-looking satellites and space debris, making them invisible to alien scans. "The key is to look primitive," Mills explained to his team one day, as they worked in their underground lab. "Every piece of advanced technology must be hidden. Everything in plain sight must look old and simple." They succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. While the public saw space agencies struggling with basic rockets, secret factories on the far side of the moon built advanced ships and weapons. While news channels reported on failed satellite launches, quantum computers hidden in mountain bunkers analyzed alien technology. 10 years into the project, they had their first close call. An alien ship entered the solar system, passing close to Mars. The world held its breath, but the aliens saw exactly what humanity wanted them to see: a primitive planet still burning fossil fuels, fighting among themselves, and barely reaching their own moon. Dr. Mills watched from the hidden base beneath the Mariana Trench as the alien ship departed. "They think we're children," he said to his assistant, "playing with toys while they travel between stars." The assistant looked worried. "Isn't that dangerous, making ourselves look so weak?" Mills smiled. "The most dangerous predator is the one you don't see as a threat." He pointed to their monitors showing alien traffic far beyond Pluto. "Every message they send, every piece of technology they use, we study it. We learn from it. We improve upon it." And improve they did. Humanity took alien designs and made them better, more efficient. They developed defenses against every weapon they saw in alien battles. They created detection systems that could spot ships using technology they weren't supposed to know existed. Now, 30 years later, Dr. Mills stood in his lab on the Jupiter Research Station, looking at the latest data from the quantum interceptors. The aliens still saw Earth as that same primitive planet, still thought humans were nothing more than clever apes playing with electronics. His computer beeped, a priority message from Earth. Admiral Thompson needed the new interceptor systems tested. It was finally happening. After 3 decades of watching, learning, and preparing in silence, humanity would soon reveal its true strength. Mills touched the old photo on his desk, showing that first meeting 30 years ago. "We're not the silent watchers anymore," he whispered. "Now we're the hunters they never saw coming." Deep within the red planet's core, Colonel Lisa Wright walked through the massive underground chamber of humanity's greatest military installation. The Mars base stretched for miles in every direction, carved out over decades of secret construction. Her footsteps echoed off the metal walls as she made her way to the control center. "Status report," she called out as she entered the room filled with glowing screens and busy operators. "All systems responding, Colonel," replied Mark, her second in command. "The defense grid is warming up as ordered, but keeping power levels below detection threshold." Lisa nodded, her eyes scanning the numerous displays showing the base's different sections. In one area, automated factories produced sleek fighter ships that looked nothing like the clumsy rockets Earth still launched for show. Another screen showed testing chambers where weapons far beyond anything aliens thought humans capable of creating were being fine-tuned. "Show me the main hangar," she ordered. The central screen changed to display an enormous cave-like space. Thousands of ships hung in perfect rows, each one built using technology reverse-engineered from alien designs, but improved by human innovation. Unlike alien ships that focused on raw power, human vessels emphasized stealth, efficiency, and adaptability. A warning light flashed on one of the stations. "Colonel," called out Pete, one of the younger operators. "We're picking up increased activity from the scout ships near Pluto." Lisa moved to his station, studying the data. The alien vessels were moving closer to the inner solar system, just as Admiral Thompson had predicted. She allowed herself a small smile. They had no idea they were being watched so closely. "Begin powering up the defensive satellites," she ordered. "Keep them in stealth mode, and warm up the first response fleet." Throughout the massive base, machines hummed to life. Hidden weapons platforms scattered across Mars' surface raised their barrels slightly, their energy signatures masked by advanced cloaking technology. In the hangars, rows of ships began their pre-launch sequences, their engines warming without producing any detectable emissions. Lisa walked to the testing chamber where their newest weapon was being prepared. The quantum disruptor cannon looked deceptively simple, just a slim barrel mounted on a rotating base. But its power could disable any known alien ship without destroying it. That was humanity's advantage. They didn't just copy alien weapons, they made them better. "Run the final test," she commanded. The cannon powered up, its barrel glowing faintly blue. In the chamber beyond, a shield identical to those used by alien warships hummed to life. The cannon fired. No flash, no boom, just a ripple in the air. The alien shield flickered and died. "Perfect," Lisa said. "Load the targeting data into all defense platforms." She remembered her first day at the Mars base, 15 years ago. She had been amazed that humanity could build something so massive in complete secrecy. Now she understood. The aliens' greatest weakness was their arrogance. They never looked closely at Earth because they believed humans were primitive. They never scanned Mars carefully because they thought humans barely had the technology to reach it. Her tablet beeped with a message from Earth. Admiral Thompson wanted an update on base readiness. Lisa began typing her report, detailing how the Mars base's defenses were ready but hidden, its weapons primed but silent, its ships prepared but invisible to alien scans. "Colonel," Mark called out. "Dr. Mill's team just sent over the latest intel from their quantum interceptors. The scout ships, they're discussing a closer approach to Earth." Lisa straightened her uniform. This was what they had spent decades preparing for. Every weapon, every ship, every defense system in this base had been built for this moment. Humanity had watched the aliens for 30 years, learning their weaknesses, understanding their technology, and building countermeasures for everything. "Send word to all sections," she commanded. "Full combat readiness, but maintain stealth protocols. When these aliens finally discover what humanity is truly capable of, I want it to be at the moment of our choosing." The Mars base hummed with quiet power, its vast arsenal waiting in the darkness. The hunters were about to become the hunted, and they didn't even know it yet. Captain First Star of the scout ship Star Seeker felt nothing but confidence as his vessel crossed the orbit of Neptune. His mission was simple: gather detailed information about the primitive planet called Earth for future colonization. After all, How difficult could it be to study a species that still used chemical rockets? "Status report," he commanded, his 3 eyes scanning the main display of his bridge. "All systems normal, Captain," reported Navigator Third Light. "Our stealth systems are functioning perfectly. The Primitive's crude satellites won't detect us." The bridge crew shared what passed for smiles in their species, a slight ripple of their facial scales. They had done this many times before, studying primitive worlds for the glory of their empire. Earth would be no different. But as they passed Jupiter's orbit, subtle things began to go wrong. "Captain," called out Sensor Officer Dawnwind, "I'm getting strange readings from our long-range scanners. They keep resetting themselves." First Star moved to the sensor station, his confidence wavering slightly. The readings made no sense. One moment their scanners showed clear data. The next moment they seemed confused, as if something was interfering with them. "Run a diagnostic," he ordered. "Already did, sir. 3 times. The system says everything is working perfectly." That was the first sign something was wrong. Over the next few hours, more systems began acting strangely. Their quantum communicator would lose connection for brief moments, something that had never happened before. Their navigation computers would show them slightly off course, then correct themselves without explanation. "It must be some kind of natural phenomenon," First Star said, more to reassure himself than his crew. "Perhaps radiation from the star." But as they approached Mars, things got worse. Their backup systems started failing. Their shield generators reported power fluctuations. Even their artificial gravity became unreliable. "Captain," called out Engineering Officer Brightscale, his voice tight with worry, "our main drive is showing signs of instability. I can't explain it. Everything looks fine in the diagnostics, but the power output keeps dropping." First Star felt real fear for the first time in his long career. Nothing in his experience could explain what was happening. It was as if his ship was being taken apart by invisible hands. "Show me the Earth scans," he ordered, trying to maintain his composure. The main screen displayed the blue planet. Just as their intelligence had reported, it was surrounded by primitive satellites and space debris. They could see the humans' simple space station, their basic communication networks, their polluting industries. Everything matched their expectations of a pre-spaceflight civilization. Then why did First Star feel like he was being watched? "Sir," Navigator Third Light's voice cracked with alarm. "Our main computer just shut down. It's rebooting, but all our stored data about Earth is gone." The bridge erupted in chaos. Warning lights flashed across every station. Systems that couldn't possibly fail were failing. Their mighty starship, pride of the scout fleet, was being reduced to a powerless hull by something they couldn't even detect. "Emergency protocol," First Star shouted. "Turn around. Get us out of this system." But as they tried to turn, their engines sputtered and died. They hung in space, helpless, watching as their technology, supposedly far superior to anything humans could create, failed around them. Through the main viewport, First Star saw a flash of movement near Mars. For just a moment, he thought he saw something massive shifting in the shadow of the red planet. But when he looked again, there was nothing there. "Send a distress signal," he ordered, trying to keep the panic from his voice. "Sir," Communications Officer Evening Glow whispered, "we can't. All our communication systems are dead. We're blind." As his ship drifted powerless in space, First Star realized a terrifying truth. They had made a terrible mistake. Either this system was haunted by invisible demons, or the humans weren't as primitive as everyone thought. Just before their last systems failed, their sensors picked up a brief energy reading from Earth. It was advanced, far more advanced than anything humans should have had. Then everything went dark, leaving the alien crew floating in silence, wondering what kind of trap they had walked into. Admiral Thompson stood in the UDF command center, watching the disabled alien scout ship drift helplessly near Mars orbit. The time had come to let the galaxy know that humanity was not as helpless as they thought. "Are we ready to broadcast?" he asked, looking at his communications team. "Yes, sir," replied Bill, the head of communications. "We've tapped into their quantum network. Every spacefaring civilization within 500 light-years will receive our message." Thompson nodded, straightening his uniform. 30 years of preparation had led to this moment. On screens around him, he could see the Mars base fully powered up, its massive arsenal finally revealed. Dr. Mill's quantum interceptors were ready to ensure their message reached every corner of known space. "Begin transmission," he ordered. The message started with a simple demonstration. Using technology that the aliens thought impossible for humans to possess, they took control of every communication device in the nearby sector of space. Alien ships found their screens suddenly showing Earth's broadcast, unable to turn it off. To all spacefaring civilizations, Thompson's voice echoed across the galaxy, translated perfectly into every known alien language. "This is Admiral James Thompson of Earth's United Defense Force." In the command center, operators watched as alien communications erupted with confusion and disbelief. How could primitives access their secure networks? How could they translate into all languages simultaneously? "For 30 years, we have watched you," Thompson continued. "We have listened as you discussed colonizing our world. We have observed as you dismissed us as primitive, as weak, as unworthy of respect." He paused, letting his words sink in. On a nearby screen, the alien scout ship tried desperately to restart its systems, still unaware that Earth's defense grid had completely disabled them. "You believed we were blind to your presence. You thought our rockets were the best we could achieve. You assumed our satellites were primitive tools." Thompson allowed himself a small smile. "You were wrong." At his signal, Colonel Wright activated a small portion of the Mars base's defense grid. Across the solar system, thousands of hidden platforms suddenly became visible. Advanced ships emerged from secret hangars, weapon systems beyond anything the aliens had seen powered up. "What you saw of Earth was what we wanted you to see," Thompson explained. "While you watched our chemical rockets, we built quantum drives. While you laughed at our satellites, we studied your every transmission. While you planned to colonize us, we prepared to defend ourselves." The command center screen showed alien vessels throughout nearby space coming to a complete stop, their crews frozen in shock as they realized the truth. The primitives they had dismissed had secretly surpassed them. "Consider this damaged scout ship near Mars a demonstration," Thompson continued. "We disabled it without destroying it, using technology you thought impossible for us to have. We could have destroyed it, but we chose mercy. Remember that." He leaned forward slightly, his voice becoming firmer. "This is humanity's first and final warning. We have no interest in conquest. We do not seek war. But we will not be colonized. We will not be enslaved. We will not be treated as primitives to be conquered." The alien ship's emergency power finally kicked in, its crew probably terrified as they realized their supposed easy mission had turned into a nightmare. "You may approach Earth in peace," Thompson concluded. "You may open diplomatic relations. You may propose trade. But if anyone attempts to attack or colonize our world..." He gestured to Colonel Wright, who activated a brief demonstration of their quantum disruptor technology, temporarily disabling every alien ship within range. "Well, now you know what we can do." As the transmission ended, the command center erupted in cheers. 30 years of secrecy had paid off. The aliens' own communication networks were flooded with panicked messages as civilizations throughout the galaxy realized they had completely underestimated humanity. "Send a rescue ship to help that scout vessel," Thompson ordered. "Show them that we can be merciful." He looked at the galactic map, now showing hundreds of alien ships rapidly backing away from Earth's solar system. After all, the best way to maintain peace is to be so well prepared for war that no one dares start one. 3 days after Earth's message to the galaxy, the inevitable happened. A battle fleet from the Empire of the Seven Suns appeared at the edge of the solar system. Their massive warships, each one larger than Earth's largest cities, moved forward with clear intent. "They don't believe our warning," Colonel Wright said, standing in the Mars base control room. Just as Admiral Thompson predicted. The alien fleet numbered over 200 ships. Their commander had broadcast a simple message: Earth would surrender, or they would demonstrate what happens to primitive worlds that didn't know their place. "All defense stations report ready," Mark announced from his console. "The automated fleet is powered up and waiting." Lisa nodded, watching the enemy fleet approach. They moved with complete confidence, their weapons charged, their shields at full power. They had no idea what was waiting for them. "Admiral Thompson is online," one of the operators called out. Thompson's face appeared on the main screen. "Colonel, you have permission to proceed with the demonstration. Remember, disable, don't destroy. We want them to carry our message back to their empire." "Understood, sir," Lisa replied. She turned to her crew. "Begin Operation Lighthouse." Deep within Mars, massive hangar doors slid open. Thousands of automated ships, each one built with technology far beyond what the aliens possessed, rose from their hidden bays. They moved without engines, using gravity manipulation that human scientists had perfected after years of studying alien tech. The alien fleet halted in surprise. Their scanners, finally detecting the massive human armada, showed power readings that should have been impossible for primitives to achieve. "Send the warning," Lisa ordered. A clear message was broadcast to the alien fleet. "This is your only chance to retreat. We have no desire to harm you." The alien commander's response was predictable. Their fleet opened fire, launching their most powerful weapons at the human ships. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked across space. Lisa allowed herself a small smile. Activate defense grid. Between the two fleets, space itself seemed to ripple. Every alien weapon disappeared into what looked like tiny holes in reality. Dr. Mill's quantum tunneling technology, adapted from fragments of alien research, but perfected by human innovation, safely redirected their attacks into empty space. Their weapons had no effect, Mark reported, trying to hide his excitement. "Their commanders are ordering another volley." "Let them waste their energy," Lisa said. "Prepare the disruptors." The alien fleet fired again, their weapons growing more desperate. They launched missiles, energy beams, even their feared Nova bombs. Nothing reached the human ships. Each attack vanished, swallowed by humanity's superior defense technology. "They've stopped firing," Mark announced. "I think they're realizing." "Now," Lisa commanded, "show them what we can really do." From the Mars base and the automated fleet, thousands of quantum disruptor beams shot out. They moved faster than the aliens could track, passing straight through their supposedly impenetrable shields. Within seconds, every system on every alien ship shut down. The mighty battle fleet hung powerless in space. No weapons, no engines, no communications. Through emergency channels, Lisa could hear their panic as they realized just how badly they had underestimated Earth. "Launch the repair drones," she ordered. Small robots flew out from the human fleet, attaching themselves to the disabled alien ships. Within minutes, minimal power was restored, just enough for life support and communications. The alien commander's face appeared on the main screen, his expression showing a mix of fear and awe. How is this possible? You were primitive. We saw your technology. You saw what we wanted you to see," Lisa replied calmly. "We could destroy your ships right now. Instead, we're giving you power to return home. Tell your empire what happened here. Tell them that Earth is not to be threatened." As the alien ships slowly retreated, their once mighty weapons useless, their crews shaken, Lisa received a message from Admiral Thompson. "Well done, Colonel," he said. "I think they finally got the message." The automated fleet returned to its hidden hangars beneath Mars' surface. The defense grid powered down to stealth levels. Soon, the solar system looked peaceful again, just as humanity wanted it to appear. But now the galaxy knew. Earth was not weak. Earth was not primitive. Earth was ready. 1 month after the battle that changed everything, the first official alien diplomatic delegation arrived at Earth. Their ship, a peaceful vessel marked with universal symbols of diplomacy, approached slowly and respectfully, very different from the arrogant warriors who had come before. Admiral Thompson and Dr. Mills watched from the observation deck of the new International Space Station as the alien ship docked. This station wasn't hidden like their other technology. It was meant to be seen, a symbol of humanity's true capabilities. Quite different from 30 years ago, isn't it? Mills said, looking at the alien vessel. Back then, we were intercepting their signals in secret. Now they're coming to us as equals. Thompson nodded, remembering those early days. The galaxy learned its lesson quickly. Amazing how showing mercy to that scout ship and the battle fleet worked better than destroying them would have. Below them, Earth shone beautifully. Now that humanity no longer needed to hide its advancement, clean energy platforms were visible in orbit, their quantum cores providing power to the entire planet. Ships moved openly between Earth and Mars, carrying both cargo and passengers. The alien delegation consisted of representatives from 5 major galactic civilizations. Their leader, a tall being named Peace Speaker, stepped forward as the airlock opened. "Welcome to Earth," Thompson said, using one of the translation devices that were now openly displayed. Peace Speaker bowed slightly. "We come with respect and admiration," he replied. "Your world has taught our civilizations a valuable lesson about judging others." As they walked through the station, the aliens couldn't hide their amazement at human technology. They passed quantum computers more advanced than their own, saw displays of energy manipulation they hadn't thought possible, and witnessed human innovations that had taken their own ideas and improved upon them. "We monitored your communications for decades," Mills explained to a curious alien scientist. "Every piece of technology we saw, we studied, but we didn't just copy. We found ways to make them better." The alien delegation was most impressed by the Mars base, which they toured via holographic projection. The massive facility, no longer hidden, stood as a testament to human ingenuity and determination. All this time, one alien ambassador said, "We thought we were watching you, but you were watching us, learning from our mistakes, improving on our successes." In the station's main conference room, Thompson and the alien leaders began discussing Earth's new role in the galactic community. Trade agreements were proposed, cultural exchanges planned, and diplomatic relations established. "There's one thing we don't understand," Peace Speaker said during a break. "Why reveal yourselves now? Why not wait longer?" Mills smiled. "Because humanity doesn't want to hide anymore. We proved we can defend ourselves. Now we want to help build something better. A galaxy where civilizations respect each other, regardless of their apparent level of technology." As the day ended, Thompson stood with Mills in their old office at UDF headquarters, watching the news broadcasts. Around the world, people celebrated as the truth was finally revealed. 30 years of secrecy had ended, and humanity had emerged stronger than anyone had imagined. "What do you think the future holds?" Mills asked, looking at the star map that now showed friendly trading ships instead of potential threats. Thompson smiled. "Peace through strength. We showed them we couldn't be conquered, but also that we didn't want to conquer. That's the balance that will keep Earth safe." Outside, the sun set on a changed world. Human ships now flew openly alongside alien vessels. The Mars base served as both a defense facility and a center for technological exchange. Earth had taken its place among the stars, not through conquest or submission, but through patience, preparation, and wisdom. "Remember when we intercepted that first alien transmission?" Mills asked. "We were so afraid of what might come from space, and now they're afraid of disappointing us," Thompson replied. "Because we showed them something they didn't expect from a primitive world, mercy alongside strength." As night fell, the stars seemed to shine brighter than ever before. But now they weren't filled with potential threats. Instead, they represented opportunities, adventures, and a future where humanity stood proud among the stars, respected not just for their power, but for how wisely they had chosen to use it.